Hello, everybody. All right, we're gonna wait a few minutes, give people a chance to come in here. If you haven't yet, if you guys can like and share the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people to engage, that'd be appreciated. Also, um, anything we talk about tonight grabbed your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions. I'm gonna put some music on for a moment. I still got to do some last minute stuff here. Sorry, I'm just running a little behind tonight. But I'm gonna put some music on for a moment while I take care of some last minute stuff, and then I'll come back and we'll talk a little bit about what's going on. So, anyways. Hey, Rick.
Hey.
Running a little behind tonight, but you know. But how'd your day go today?
Oh, tiring, exhausting, good.
Yeah, you got and you did tell me that you weren't going to be able to be here on Friday, right?
Well, it's highly unlikely that I'm gonna get.
All right, I've already taken your name off the co-host list and all that, so for this Friday, anyways. Um,
Yeah, just give me a second. I'm gonna share this out. Uh, there we go. Copy. I already hit the like. Okay, here we go. Liked and shared.
all right, all right. So
But yeah, I start work at 5 on Friday, and it's highly
uh-huh.
unlikely that they're only gonna make me work 2 hours or 3 hours. It's
Yeah,
possible, but
yeah, I get it, Rick. Actually, with that going on, and some other, some other stuff that's been going on late, I'll talk to you more about it after the show.
yeah.
But
Uh, oh,
I,
and
I, I,
Wednesday, and
I'm thinking about making some changes to the show.
ah,
I'll kind of go more into detail with you, after.
off
Well,
air. Yeah,
yeah, because I haven't decided as of yet. But
yeah. And Wednesday, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to be here, but tomorrow I will be able to be here.
well, actually, that's I might. Well, since we're talking about that, that's actually one of the changes. I I guess I'll just do it on air and just So considering what's been going on, I know like earlier in the year, of course, I had 5 people as part of the rotation for the historical comic retrospect, but 3 of you have had life, stuff come up, you know,
Yeah,
and so what I'm thinking about doing, and if I do decide to ultimately do this, it'll probably be start up in November because I still need obviously, because I'm obviously filled out through October, obviously, particularly with the historical comic retrospect. So these are the changes. One of them I probably will make right away here, but these are the changes I'm considering making. So I'm considering dropping the panel show on Sunday.
Yeah.
Moving the historical comic retrospect to Sunday from Friday. Having Friday as a regular show, and then I've also decided, because initially when I started having you co-hosting on during the week, my intent was to eventually get to a point where I'd have people rotating in and out, but it just is proven not to be possible. Now that you're going to be somewhat, now you got a job now and stuff like that, I'm going to drop the weeknight co-host thing for now, because it's just too unpredictable at this point. But go ahead.
I'm still willing to, when I'm able, Mike. It's no problem for me. Yeah, sure. Some weeks I might be able to get only 1 day or 2 days or no days.
Well, yeah, I get that, Rick. But the thing is that I just feel, it's like, and this isn't on you. This is just the way I'm looking at it. It's like, because my whole thing was to try to, it wasn't just to have you on, but have people rotate. Not even have you on as much as 2 nights a week like you were doing it, but just the one. The whole idea was to rotate people in to get different people's commentaries on the news stories. But with you, because this week you'll probably be available Monday, but not Wednesday. Next week it might be Wednesday, but not Monday. And then the week after that might be both days, and another week it might be neither day. So rather than having that inconsistency there, that's why I'm just going to drop the weeknight co-host thing. I'm still going to obviously need co-host for the historical comic retrospect if I move it to. Also, one of the other things, and a lot of this is just from my own observations and feeling that maybe I have a better chance of getting more viewers if I make some of these moves, But the other thing is also what I'm considering doing is pushing the start time of the show, all 6. Okay, so Sunday will still be at 5, obviously. But what I'm thinking along with that is pushing the weeknight shows back an hour to where I'm doing them from 5 Pacific my time, 8, because I really, now part of the reason why I decided, though, I'm thinking about moving the comic retrospect to Sunday, because the thing about having it on Friday, that's party night for most people.
Yeah.
Most people want to go out and get drunk, and of course, I know, like you and Apex have jobs where you guys are probably Friday's probably going to be one of your busiest days. For him, it's hard.
It's hard to say for me because I work today. I was lucky I got off at 7. Sunday's probably going to be a slow day, so if I go in for 11 or 12, I'll probably get off at about 7, no matter what.
Right.
And there might be the odd week that I get off at 8.
But unless
they want me to close,
Well,
but I think that's a while off, I figure.
But yeah, well, as I said, I won't. Aside from maybe the nightly co-host idea, these changes are probably not going to be implemented until November, because I have, for the historical comic retrospect, I basically have covered through like the end of October through October 25th.
Yeah.
So
I know with me they give me my schedule every Friday, so I find out every Friday what my next week is going to be like.
Yeah.
I can request days,
and that would be a little bit, and I know that'd be a little bit harder to schedule you in advance. Like, I am really sure, Well, I mean, because
Sunday, with Sunday, I probably have a better chance. I think I might have a better chance of being here.
Yeah, and that'd be fun, and plus it'd be a lot easier to just get one of you guys, in on a Sunday, for the historical hunt, and trying to get 4 or 5 people for a panel show. Apparently, since everybody's busy or what have you. But I'm just that's basically what I'm thinking about it. I probably am leaning towards probably doing it. It's just that it won't be implemented. These changes won't be implemented until November, because I have basically because and I'm gonna probably finalizing my decision, as it were, sometime within the next week or so, because I'm going to have to, because as I said, I'm basically getting down to finishing up basically I'm in the last 6 weeks here of March of 1940 coverage, so I got to prepare the April 1940 coverage for that. So, and I'll be putting that up on my Anyways, so put that out of the way. I was gonna do that either before or after the show with you, but I think we were kind of talking about it already. So
it's something pertaining to the show, so it's worth talking about it online. See what some of your, not that there's too many people here at the moment. See what some of your viewers think about it or whatever. Hopefully they
comment. Well, the only reason I was gonna even do it just off channel here or off camera was only because it's something I'm considering. I haven't actually decided yet if I'm going to do it. I probably will within, as I said, the next week or two. But it's something I'm thinking about. Something that I have actually talked to RJ and Apex about it. They actually think it's a pretty good idea as well. So anyway,
it does seem to be a bit hard for you to get panelists, or somebody to come on and do the comic thing. Like hopefully maybe more people are able to come on.
Well, also like okay, like this last Friday when I had Apex on, right? It was just me and him. Not even Goodnight Spoon chose to come by to watch the show. Now I know Goodnight Spoon will tend to come more when you're specifically on. He doesn't come as much when I'm just on my own or it's somebody else, but and as always, of course, if you can always come and hang out in the chat as well, that'd be cool too when you're available as well. But as I said, as I was thinking about it, the problem with Fridays, as I said, for the most part, it's party night. People prefer to go out to bars and get drunk and all that. So I figured, okay, we have to continue this up a little bit. So I figure Sunday nights at 5 Pacific. I might have a better chance of drawing in more people at that time than and I know like pros and cons of it. Like I know that if I do, the idea of pushing the weeknight shows back during the week, I'm going to be directly competing with guys against guys like Ethan,
but the thing is, you're not competing with Ethan to begin with. Ethan's got his viewers, and most of his viewers, no offense, and I hope probably would never come here. And not that you would necessarily want them.
I get that. I get plus, and I just thought about this too for Rex's show. A lot of people might be more, because I know Rex's show kind of wraps up probably by 5 my time usually, because he starts 2:00 my time, 4:00 his. So people might be more inclined to want to just come. Like one of the things I discovered with when the last couple of times I tried having Shadowhawk as a co-host. For him, it's a bit of a strain to kind of try to stay awake for an hour to then come on my show. He's pretty much exhausted. He even outright admitted it. I realized, okay, I might not be able to, but if it's a little bit of an easier transition where they're just coming right over, and they don't have to sit there and strain as much. But again, a lot of these things, again. Anyways, Rick, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand it over to you for a moment. Let you do an intro. Promote anything you want. I'm going to go off camera for a sec here because I got to take care of something here real quick.
Okay.
So
Well,
I'll be right back.
what I will promote is my latest snack video over on here on YouTube on my channel, Pied Piper of Hamilton channel. Uh, and I'll put a link to the chat. So go over, check out that. It's I have another channel besides my Cross Comics one where I do my comic stuff, which probably after I'm on Mike's tomorrow night, I will probably be doing a live stream instead of Tuesday night because, well, the fact is that my channel, I'm probably not going to be able to do mine at 10 on Tuesday because, sort of as we were talking about, my work schedule this week, I start at 5, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And I don't know when I end. But I doubt I'm getting home for 10. I'll be lucky, I think, to get home for 11. It'll probably be somewhere between 11 and 12. I'm expecting to be home on those nights. But it is what it is. So, yeah, everybody go check out that channel. Check out that channel, the video. If you like it, hit the like, share. You know, the last few have done really good. Didn't get a lot of likes, but the last few got the last one before this got 400. Oh, it's gotten 424 views.
All right. So all right.
It's slowly getting me some subscribers over there.
Yeah, and of course I'll probably try to pop in at some point. Well, tomorrow, obviously for the immediate, I'm still going to be doing my show from 6 to 7. Obviously on my end, like I said, the time change probably won't happen until like November or something. That probably when I.
Well, the time change, if you wanted to implement that one, you could probably do that one before the November.
Well, not really, because I already have everything set for 6. Because I basically in terms of my coverage, right? In terms of the comics coverage.
Yeah. I'd say except for Friday nights. Friday nights you can still keep it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess you're right. I could theoretically do that Monday through Thursday, but I'd rather just do everything.
Yeah, it's up to you. It's just something to consider.
But
if you think it's going to do you any good, in fact, in some ways, it'll tell you whether you will or not. You take it for a test run, right?
Yeah, but
again, it's up to you. I'm just making a suggestion. Don't feel pressured to do anything.
RJ and I, when I was talking to him about it, there's a good reason why we talk back and forth amongst each other because can bounce ideas off each other.
Yeah,
which is fine. So but anyways, so I know we don't have as many people in here right now, but yeah, so we're.
Did you have anything on the agenda for the night or anything?
Well, I don't have anything outright planned, but because like I said, I would run behind all that because I was basically trying to get caught up on my wrestling, on on AEW stuff. So I have the Bounty in the Comics site set up. I just haven't looked through to check to see if there's any articles there. But also this might, since it's just you and me tonight, I might just do it to just about an hour. But now I do have this day niche history set up already, obviously. But anyways, yeah. So let's see now. What shall I do? Let's see. We're just coming up on 20 minutes. So I guess we can try to track down an article. And again, just so you know, Rick, the schedule is going to pretty much be the same at least for at least through October here. So
yeah. Uh, well, so there lies a question. Well, with this thoughts and all that, although you haven't decided anything, like I said, I'm available tomorrow night. Unfortunately, Wednesday I'm not. Do you want me? Well, I'm probably not
No,
available.
okay, that change of me dropping the nightly co-host, that one is one I feel I can do right now. Right, just in just because again, plus I want to make sure you have enough time to to deal with your work stuff too. And then
Oh,
you even yourself said that tomorrow, because of the fact your work schedule, you were going to probably have to do your show tomorrow night anyways.
yeah. Well, I don't mind doing it right after yours. Maybe I have to leave yours maybe 5 minutes early if you don't end right at 10.
Yeah, but I just figure, it might be different if I had more co-hosts, if I did have what I had intended, which is having the rotating set of co-hosts. But
Yeah.
considering you're the only co-host I have, I mean, I think I might as well just drop it at this point because, I mean, you can still hang out in the chat and talk and
Yeah.
contribute. I just figured, it'd be something else if I had you know, um, but again, I just figure since I'm likely gonna, it's probably one change I'm gonna just make right away here. Just stop
Uh-huh.
using nightly co-host. But thank you anyways, Rick. But I still will probably, we'll still be doing the panel show at least through October. So,
Uh-huh.
I'll still send you the link. As always, I'll send you the links and hope for the best. I send everybody the links and hope for the best. But as you notice, it hasn't been happening of late. So that's part of the
Yeah,
reason.
I know the feeling. I've done it quite a lot too, where you send links and nobody shows up, or they know about it, nobody shows up. It's like you just do the show yourself. Do whatever you do. What you can figure it out.
Mm-hmm. All right. Anyways, let me just go through some of these here. See if there's anything here. Yeah, we actually saw that one. So that's hmm. Oh, here's some. Well, okay, so I guess this is a little bit more of a update on even the story I was talking about the other day, and it is something we've been following of late, Rick.
Ah,
You'll probably when I bring it up, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
Neil
Now
Gaiman.
it was just simply the other day when I reported on this, he was just volunteering to step off, but apparently now there's a little bit more to it here. Let's see. September 14th, which was yesterday. So, Neil Gaiman projects, including Dead Boy Detectives and Good Omens, are canceled or paused by studios amid allegations against him. Okay, so yeah, now the other day they were saying pause. They didn't say anything about anything being canceled when I covered this from the Bleeding Fool site. But article by J.B. Ogden published. So let's take a look here then. So Neil Gaiman's material is falling out of favor as a result of allegations of sexual impropriety lodged against him. Series and also a motion picture based on his works being either axed or put on hold one by one. Yeah, you know, that's just okay. I guess I can kind of get the idea. Okay, people don't want to support. People don't want to. If they think even though now, mind you, once again, let's just remind everybody. Let's just remind everybody, of course, that
These are allegations.
he hasn't actually been convicted in a court of law. None of these they're allegations. He's not been found guilty of anything. These are just allegations. Okay.
Yeah, but the other thing, even if say they end up being true, he ends up being charged. Okay, he's probably gonna end up going to jail. He's gonna do his time. Um, these allegations or these charges have nothing to do with his work. His work is his
right,
work.
which is exactly where I was going with it, Rick. Thank you for bringing that up. That's exactly where I was eventually going to go with that. That's where I was heading. Continue.
But I get people don't want to be associated with him because his name brings bad press, shall we say? It's a catch-22. This guy has to work, you know. Maybe give him a synonym. I know the stuff that he's done in the past. You can't, you know, if he's doing a movie based on a work that he gets in the past. You know, don't use his name. You know, yeah, okay, you got to put it in the credits somewhere. You know, at the end, right? Just do it in small fine print.
But, yeah. Now I know that people sometimes will take the idea of, well, one bad apple spoils the bunch, but is it really a good idea to be, if you got enjoyment from now, of course I can give other examples too where we've seen this happen, and I'll get to those examples in a moment, but should you throw out the enjoyment you got from the work simply because the person who did the work may have turned out to be not such a nice guy? Should that really take away from your appreciation of the work? Now I know some people have argued that maybe some of Gaiman's, some of, let's say, some of those little, odd tendencies he put into his work and all that. But still, if you enjoyed the work, should the fact that, okay, he's human, he's fallen, does that mean that should that take away from your enjoyment of the? Oh, Rick, what happened? Like Rick took. You don't know if there's a. I guess we'll wait and see. Apparently, he got kicked. I guess for some reason, but as I was saying though, should that really should the fact that whether it's one or two or a handful of things they done wrong, so should that small number of there's Rick. What happened?
I don't know. My internet just went funky.
Right.
It said it was working, but it wasn't working. So I shut it off, disconnected it, reconnected it. And it's working. So,
but as I was saying, should one, two, or a handful of bad acts really take away from the enjoyment of the work of enjoyment of the work the person did? Because I mean, again, as I was saying earlier, there's a couple other examples that come to mind. Of course, there's of course in the world of pro wrestling, there's Chris Benoit, where a lot of people, and a lot of people enjoyed his work, right? A lot of people were happy when he, but because of the fact that he did apparently have a mental breakdown caused by what some people believe was post-concussion syndrome. Not that that's really an excuse, but he ended up, unfortunately, murdering and basically, murdering his wife and son, and then killing himself. You know?
Yeah, should that stop you from watching some of his previous
You know,
matches? Record it? No.
the other example I can give is Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby did a lot of good things for kids, you know, but yet it came out in recent years, of course, that there were some women who came out against him and accused him of like
Some
a lot
inappropriate behavior.
right. And does
And
that again? Do those acts? Now I don't know if Cosby was actually convicted of anything or not.
I heard he was convicted. There was some sort of plea deal that he wasn't supposed to go to jail. He went to jail for a bit, and then he got out because of this plea deal or whatever. I'm not sure exactly.
Oh yeah, I mean, okay, so he got convicted, but okay, but does that then erase? Should that then erase the good he did? Now I'm not now. Don't get me wrong. What he did was wrong. What they did was wrong.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and technically,
but should that really erase the good they did or the enjoyment you got from their work just because of those acts?
Yeah.
Now
I know technically, the good he does can't outweigh the bad. That's speaking as a morally or ethically, however you want to say it. But should you stop watching the Cosby Show because he did something in his private life that most likely you wouldn't have found out about if it wasn't for social media?
Yeah, and it's one of the other things that's kind of funny too is that there was a time when Cosby was actually praised for the portrayals of black families on his shows, the Cosby Show, and I think even later with Cosby, right?
Yeah,
did produce a lot of what would be considered family-friendly content that I think a lot of people actually enjoyed and felt were good portrayals, right? Portrayals, not betrayal, portrayals of of an African American family. Should that be negated then, just simply because because he was convicted of these crimes?
yeah.
I know, like, I do get that there are some people who worked with him, like Lisa Bonet, who have had issues with him before. Okay, but most of it, as far as I know, aside from Lisa Bonet, I don't think there's anybody else from the show who's really had anything negative to say about him. I think most people who have worked with him have always had
good things to say.
Good things to say about Felicia Richard as well. Who played his wife Claire. Actually, I think in fact Felicia Richard actually played his wife in 2 series, The Cosby Show and then Cosby. So I mean,
yeah, she obviously didn't have much of a problem with him when she was willing to come back and be an actress work with him on the show.
And the thing too was that and the thing too was there too is that one of the other things you obviously need to ask yourself that as well is obviously she didn't get the vibe from him that he was this kind of thing. And now sometimes if somebody takes a plea deal, it just simply means because maybe they just figured, okay, I'll just take the plea deal, do my time, and because Cosby at this point he's in like what his 70s, 80s or something like that.
70s or 80s, something like that.
But again,
this is a good 10 years ago when this was all going on too. So.
Yeah. But again, something I really, really want to hit home about and point out to everybody is think about this. Should 1, 2, or a small handful of bad acts really negate the good somebody does? I think as Christians, I think I think most Christians would say no. It should. I mean, it shouldn't because especially if the good you're doing is in the service of the Lord. But
I
do get being above reproach too, Rick.
Yeah. No, that's not really what I was going to say. It's we get morally, or however you want to say, according to God, um, you can't do enough good to technically wipe out your bad. Okay, I get that. Fine. Okay, that's a day of judgment type thing. That
Well, my point more, what the point I was
yeah,
trying to get to with that statement, Rick, was more the
yeah,
idea is that
yeah,
we're all as God creations, we're all imperfect,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
We're
yeah,
all imperfect.
yeah,
Okay.
and I get that. I'm just trying to, I guess, half bring up that point because somebody might bring that up, because whatever reason, because it's sort of a good, in a debate. But at the same time, as you said, we're human. We err. That is what that aspect of things is for judgment. Yes, technically, nothing he does can diminish the bad. No amount of good he did can diminish the bad, but he can still do good in the meantime, or the good that he
Well,
has done doesn't get
my
wiped
point
out.
is, yeah, my
But
point
but
isn't as much about wiping out the evil. I'm not.
yeah,
That's not
yeah,
what I'm talking about. But
yeah.
I'm
I
more.
get that. It's just it's it's a thought that runs through my head. Thinking of it from a possible different aspect that some people might come at it from.
Right.
And I want to say although using that thing I still believe hey, I'll still watch the Cosby Show. I would still watch Fat Albert and Friends. Those were good shows. They taught a lot of good moral things. They
Right.
still good moral teaching. They were family
Which is
friendly.
more or less my point. Should that really take away from that just simply because okay, they actually were found to actually be human, and were
Yeah,
imperfect. Anyways, let's continue on with the article because even in all that discussion, we just spent like about
we
15
forgot about
minutes.
the article.
Yeah. Anyways, well, no, because I knew of some similar situations there that I wanted to bring up.
Yeah.
But anyway, Neil Gaiman's material is falling out of favor as a result of allegations of sexual impropriety lodged against him. Series, okay, yeah, so we did read that part already. Let's see. And that's what led to the conversation we were just having right then and there. According to Animation World Network, Sandman spinoff Dead Boy Detectives, for one, has been canceled after one season despite good ratings and decent reviews. This comes as a surprise to fans and people working on the show, but it fits the growing pattern.
Yep.
Meanwhile, oh, were you about to say something?
I'd just say agree if it's the growing pattern.
Yeah.
Cancel something because although it's doing good, cancel it just because somebody associated with it, might have a bad name.
Yeah.
Just so he doesn't get any money. Forget the enjoyment of the fans, the people
Yeah.
watching.
Oh, yeah. Good point. What about the other people who work on the? How about the other people who work on the show who are just going there doing their job? You want to take money out of their pockets because you don't want to give this guy. This guy turned out to be actually turned out to be real human and folly, and so you don't want to give him money. I mean, I think people can understand that, but if you're gonna like say, well, we don't want to watch the show now because this person created it because we found that he actually did some pretty naughty or nasty things, but again, if you enjoyed the show, okay, so the creator wasn't the nicest person in the world. If you still enjoyed the material, do you just turn a blind eye to it just because of the fact the guy you can separate the art from the person.
Yeah.
Anyways, meanwhile, over at Amazon, the future of God Omens was tossed up in the air as production on the third season was halted. Deadline says, quote, discussions about possible production changes, unquote, are taking place, but there is no telling what that could mean. Now, this portion I was covering Bleeding Fool was talking about this portion the other day, and when I went over that article the other day about it, an update was given, and it was an Avi article, believe it or not. But the
article.
The article. Let's see. So, okay, we were talking about the Avi article. We're talking about this. There was an update in the article about that Gaiman had offered to voluntarily step down from his,
anything on it having to do with the project.
Help take some of the pressure off. So that's where I was trying to go with it. Anyways, Amazon spokespeople aren't talking, and some are left to wonder if this is a bad omen for the show's future. I don't think the pun was intended. Reportedly, this upcoming season was the final one anyway, so cutting losses is a potential risk. These developments surrounding Dead Boy Detectives and Good Omens might seem at a glance unrelated to Gaiman's controversies. However, they came shortly and suspiciously after Disney suspended a feature film based on his story, The Graveyard Book, with which he had no direct involvement. So Disney canceled a show where he wasn't even on the show. He wasn't even doing anything with the movie. He wasn't directly involved with the movie yet. They decided to maybe cancel that project.
Yeah.
Per IndieWire, the allegations of sexual assault against Gaiman are considered a contributing factor in Disney's decision, although they haven't completely disqualified an adaptation of the of the tale. It said that the book could get pulled off the shelf and produced at a later date. So it could be that maybe they just deciding to suspend the idea until let things kind of cool out, or let's see how things work themselves out before moving forward with it. But a second season of Sandman might have better luck, as it's still reportedly in development at Netflix, despite allegations against Gaiman that were made public this summer. 4 women, including one employed as a nanny, came forward with, quote, accounts of rough and degrading sex, unquote, with the 63-year-old. Now, we do know in at least one of those, consent was initially given, until the actual act was being done. Another situation was, of course, we thought the coercion aspect might have made things a little bit more tricky, as we talked about. But so now, mind you, again, he hasn't actually been now. While over in New Zealand, those allegations are being investigated. These are allegations. There's no proof of wrongdoing as of yet.
Yeah.
And he has continued to say he's continued to deny the allegations. So, Gaiman,
he's denied them in the fact that he's saying everything was consensual.
Right. Well, and in fact, we're about to get him right here. Gaiman, quote, strongly denies any allegations of non-consensual sex, unquote, going as far as saying the nanny's case lacked substance. New Zealand police agreed and did not pursue her complaint. So the complaint I was just even talking about, the New Zealand, that accusation, even the police felt there wasn't anything there to really prosecute him on. So if the police don't even think, based on what they said, he didn't do anything, then it does have to make you kind of wonder and maybe think people are jumping the gun a little bit here.
Now to play devil's advocate, they're not saying that he didn't do anything. They're just saying there ain't no proof. We can't prove it in a court of law.
Yeah.
We can't prove nothing in a court of law to convict him, so it's not worth pursuing. Was there something there?
Though the 4-part podcast Master, the allegations against Neil Gaiman asserts there is more to the story. So, and of course they talk here about four women, but as we know, I think at this point there's 6 women actually, because there were a couple, from when we were covering the story, Rick, right? They said there were actually 2 more that came out after the initial 4. So there's actually 6 women in total who I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem. Well, there's 6 that came forward. Now, with this story, it's saying 1 has been dismissed by the police. So now it's down to there's like 5 potential cases.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
all right. So anyway, so again, just the nuggets I would say to take from this story is just to really think about, if you enjoyed somebody's work, right? If you really did enjoy somebody's work, if you really enjoyed their work, and and there are allegations against them, if you really enjoyed the work, you still, if you feel you like the work, you can still separate the work from the artist. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe you don't want to give them money because they turned out to be a bad person, but you can still enjoy the work.
Yeah, it's like if you already have it in your collection, don't go throw it out, set it on fire or whatever. It's not going to do anything except waste the money that you spent years ago. That he's.
I know some people would argue that. I know some people would argue that they've already, that they've already wasted the money, so it doesn't really make much of a difference. I know the thing that comes to mind was when Shadowhawk burned, I guess, some of the stuff he bought from Vic King after what came out about Vic King. And in that case, I think he actually outright admitted to wrongdoing in that case. So it's a little bit more understandable.
Well, from what I heard, he said that yes, technically he went to jail because of it. He had to admit it. It was just because he was fighting in court. He didn't have any more money to fight, so he had to accept a plea deal on something that he didn't do, as far as he was concerned, just because he didn't have the money to fight it.
Well, let's see. Vic's from America, right?
Yeah.
He could have asked the court then for a public defender then.
Yeah,
because you do have a right to legal counsel.
Yeah, but sometimes that legal counsel is.
Yeah. Well, I mean.
Yeah.
Again,
well,
it's just food for thought. It's just food for thought.
Yeah, I'm just going by the little bit that I, heard, or read or whatever.
Yeah. So, anyways, we're coming up. We're like at 49 and a half minutes. So I think what we're going to start to do, as I said, since it's just the 2 of us, we're going to wrap up a little early tonight here. So what we're going to do now, we're going to move right on to the This Day in Each History segment. Today is Sunday, September 15th, 2024. So let's take a look back at this weekend in each history. So, alrighty then. So first off, we're going to head back 25 years ago yesterday. And on yesterday's date, 25 years ago, Madhouse's Reign the Conqueror premiered in Japan on yesterday's date 25 years ago today. Reign the Conqueror was obviously an anime adaptation of the story of Alexander the Great. So on yesterday's date 25 years ago, Reign the Conqueror premiered in Japan on yesterday's date 15 years ago, or 25 years ago, rather. So moving ahead, 2009, 15 years ago yesterday. On yesterday's date in 2009, actor, comedian, and poet Henry Gibson passed away on yesterday's date 15 years ago at the age of 73. Now, the reason that this, of course, is significant for our purposes is because he did kind of do some memorable, well, at least one memorable character, but he did a few. So he was the voice of Wilbur in Charlotte's Web. I believe that was the original Charlotte's Web back in 1973. Where he co-starred with Debbie Reynolds, who portrayed the voice. 1973. Who provided the voice of Charlotte. He was Elino Elleru in The Wuzzles, Dr. Applecheck in Tom and Jerry the movie, Lord Payne and The Grim Adventures of Billy Manning. So 15 years ago today, actor, comedian, and poet Henry Gibson passed away at the age of 73. So, now moving on, of course, to today. We're going to head back 80 years ago today, back to 1944. And on this date, back in 1944, the 40th issue of Captain Marvel Adventures went on sale on today's date, 80 years ago today. Of course, it featured 4 Captain Marvel features and a Richard Private Dick feature. And now, for those of you who may not know, the term Dick, as used back in the 30s and 40s, was just kind of a diminutive that meant detective. Doesn't have the same meaning that it does today.
Or it was also a short form for the name of Richard.
Richard, right. So among the Captain Marvel features include Captain Marvel Gets the Air, the Chimes of Crime, Boston's Mayor for a Day, and the Black Ray Death. So 80 years ago today, Captain Marvel Adventures number 40 went on sale on newsstands on that day. On that day, 80 years ago. So now moving ahead to 5 years ago, 2019. On this date, 2019. On this date in 2019, the WWE held its third Clash of Champions, a name that they had, of course, bought up as part of the WCW purchase back in 2001, but they now were doing events under the name Clash of Champions. So on this date, 5 years ago today, the WWE held its third event under the Clash of Champions name from the Spectrum Center in Charlotte, North Carolina. On that show, of course, the main event saw Seth Rollins retain the Universal Championship over Braun Strowman. Let's see, the Kofi Kingston retained the WWE Championship over Randy Orton. Sasha Banks defeated Becky Lynch by DQ over DQ, with Becky Lynch retaining the WWE Raw Women's Championship. Shinsuke Nakamura retained the Intercontinental Champion over The Miz. Let's see. Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross retained the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship over a team known as Fire and Desire, Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. The revival of Scott Dawson Dash Wilder, known today as FTR and AEW, they defeated the New Day of Big E and Xavier Woods for the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championship. Bayley retained the SmackDown Women's Championship over Charlotte Flair. And the show opened up with Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode defeating Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman to become the Raw Tag Team Champions. Also on the kickoff show, AJ Styles retained the United States Championship over Cedric Alexander, and Drew Gulak had retained the WWE Cruiserweight Championship in a triple threat match over Humberto Carrillo and Lince Dorado.
And hello, Elk.
He's back. Hey, Elk. Welcome back. Let's see. Let's see what he has to say. So we can. Dick was used to refer to genitalia since the 1890s. Yeah, but I don't think it was as common a term in those days. Perhaps first used as army slang. At the time, queer referred to feminine and gay men. You can find this out in most dictionaries. Anyways, so with that, before we do head out, as we're wrapping things up for tonight, Rick, would you like to do an outro before we head out?
Just everybody. Not that there's many people here that from my channel, but be aware that because of my schedule of work this week, working Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday, Friday at 5 p.m. to who knows what, there's going to be no chill stream on the Tuesday. It's going to be moved to Monday night. So we'll have the Monday night chill stream instead of the Tuesday night chill stream at 10 o'clock Eastern.
All right. So with that being said, we'll be back. Now, I did mention this earlier in the show. So starting tomorrow night, we're no longer going to have the co-host during the week. I'm actually making some consideration. I'm actually making some considering some changes to the show in the foreseeable future. That'll probably be, if I do decide to do them, will be implemented in October. Or not October, but November. I'll go more into, I think I might as well just say it because I did say it earlier in the show anyways. So what I'm thinking of doing, moving forward here, and this is probably starting in November, we're going to probably be doing away with the panel show on Sundays. We're going to actually be moving the historical comic retrospect from Fridays to Sundays. And then Friday will become a
regular weekday
show. And then I'm also considering, and again, most of these changes, with the exception of the co-host thing for during the week, most of these changes will probably, if I do decide to make them, will be implemented probably in November. But
And you also
we will also be moving. I'll also be considering moving show up an hour to 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 Eastern, rather than starting at 6 Pacific, 9 Eastern. In the hopes that maybe we can bring in some more people. So with that, I do thank everybody for being here. We'll be back. Of course, we'll be back here tomorrow night with more news. Also, this Friday. Now, Rick was originally scheduled to be with me, but he'll be working. So, and I'm still going to
hopefully,
like I said. Oh, go ahead, Rick. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, hopefully, well, you can send me the link if you want. And if I am able, if I get off work in time, I will more than gladly participate.
All right, I can do that. But and I'll also try to continue
to get somebody else as well.
Yeah. So, but with that, this Friday, of course, we'll be looking at comics that went on sale and not novelty comics. I believe so. We'll be looking at stuff from there. So with that, I thank everybody for being here, and I hope to see everybody back here tomorrow. Oh, actually, before we go, Rick, there is one more question directed at you.
Yeah, what time is Chill Stream tomorrow? Basically, I was planning to have it at any different time than it would be on Tuesday, so 10 p.m., same as Tuesday. And we will, of course, do the silhouette game in there, which means I gotta get the silhouette game up from last week.
La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. You know where that's from, Rick?
The Smurfs.
Yeah. La 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 la.
La 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 la.
Da 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 da.
Gummy bears.
Da 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 da. Da 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 da.
That's gummy bears bouncing here and there and everywhere.
Da 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 da. Da 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 da. All right, enough of that. Just come a few more extra seconds there to get push a little closer to the one. So with that, I think. Okay, go ahead, Rick.
Just he says Alex says all game silhouette. I'm just saying the silhouette game will be on Monday, like it is on Tuesday, and I cut out the previous weeks and put it up by itself to track maybe some more people.
All right. So with that, I thank everybody for being here, and I will see everybody. I hope to see everybody back here tomorrow. Bye.